Back in 2020, while the world was still paralyzed by the pandemic, I found myself desperate and broke. I had just lost my retail job, so I turned to Uber to keep the lights on. Driving late nights brought all sorts of strange encounters, intoxicated passengers, bizarre conversations, but nothing ever came close to what happened on one unforgettable Friday night in October. It was shortly after midnight. I had just dropped off a rider at a rundown motel on the edge of town when I got another ping. The pickup was 6 minutes away, outside a bowling alley and a half. Dead strip mall. No big deal. The rider's name was Derek. I accepted and drove over. When I arrived, the place was nearly deserted, dim lights, no parked cars, the alley clearly shut down. But under one flickering light stood a man alone. He wore a gray hoodie and jeans, tall and still, hands deep in his pockets, head bowed like he was mourning something. I slowed down and rolled down my window. "You Derek?" I asked. He lifted his head, nodded once, then silently slipped into the back seat. I confirmed the destination, some address 20 minutes away in a part of town I wasn't familiar with. He replied softly, "Yeah, that's it." His voice was strange, not slurred or high, just lifeless. Like someone who'd already given up, but I shrugged it off and started driving. For several minutes, he didn't say a word. I kept glancing at the rear view, and every single time, he was staring dead ahead, not out the window, not at his phone, just fixed on the back of my head. Trying to cut the silence, I asked how his night was. "Just needed to get out of there." He said, "Out of where?" I asked, "Doesn't matter." He replied flatly. I didn't push it. As we got closer to the destination, the roads grew darker. No streetlights, big empty yards, trees everywhere. Then, about 5 minutes before we reached the pin, he suddenly leaned forward and said, "Turn there, that driveway." He was pointing to an old, lifeless house. No lights, paint peeling, grass overgrown, not a single car in sight. "Is this yours?" I asked. "Just pull in." He said, reluctantly. I turned in and parked near the entrance. He didn't move. "You good?" I asked. He kept his eyes fixed on the front door and muttered, "Wait here." Then he slipped out and walked toward the house, not to the front, but around the side, disappearing into the darkness. I waited, uncertain. Technically, the ride was still active. I didn't want to cancel and risk penalties, but something deep inside was warning me, "Get out." I ended the ride manually. As I put the car in reverse, I saw him returning. Fast, empty-handed, with a strange look in his eyes like a mix of rage and adrenaline. I unlocked the door.